Boom. Here we go. We're live, man. Hey, what's up? Ward Wrestling Live again. Thank you for all the support out there. Appreciate y'all watching me. Wrestling Nation. Hope we're making a difference. I'm here with another amazing wrestling mind in our country. He's Jeffery Estrada. He used to, for 20 years, he had Sons of Thunder Academy and came from Illinois. Spent his last 12 years or whatever, 15 years up in Colorado. Now he's got Estrada trained and he's taking it on the road. So, hey, Coach, man, thanks so much for coming on, man. I really appreciate it. It's an absolute honor to have you.
So,
yeah, man. So, hey, first, again, thanks for coming on. But second of all, man, I know you're up in Colorado there, but how has this kind of pandemic affected your wrestlers, your fighters? I mean, your daughters are on the mat. What has it done to you?
You know what? Probably the really only thing that bothered us really was the no Fargo. That's kind of that's my favorite moment in this season, no matter what. I enjoy folk style, but freestyle and Greco is really, if I had someone wanted to pay me to move to Europe and I could just do freestyle and Greco, you would never see me again, except for, some big national tournament, international tournaments or something in the US. But, so Fargo was the disappointing thing. As far as training, we just went from training in the schools to basements. So it's, just a adaptation where we're training at. We had to get some, people's garages and, keep working and figure it out. But, I think it's more just missing that big tournament, man. That's a big deal. People trying to be 4-timers for Fargo, people missing their last year at juniors. It's all pretty sad when you think about it for that. I mean, it's a moment in time, so they'll get over it, but
Now, what does Colorado look like nowadays? Have they started to open back up a little bit? Are businesses coming?
Yeah, they're all pretty open. No schools, of course, but gyms are opening. Some stay open, some stay closed. A lot of businesses had to close down, but most of everybody who had a business that was a wrestling academy, I think, made it. A lot of us, like, we rented a building that was taken care of the whole time. So, things like this happen. You kind of get through it because you have your own property, or, you're training. A lot of people in Colorado have land, so they have a big warehouse or a building, and so, you figure it out. A couple businesses, I'm sure, have had to shut down, but, most of the people who train outside of high school train at off-site facilities anyhow, so.
Oh, well, it's good to hear. I know initially, because of, all in the spring with the ski mountains open and everything, and everybody from around the world were coming in, it was kind of a hotbed for Corona at first, but I think sounds like.
Yeah, that's still pretty far from us. That's still, 2 hours into the mountains. It ain't, maybe in Denver, but like I said, most of the thriving clubs in Colorado, Betterman, he's in the end of the Springs. He's not right none of us are in the middle of Denver or, even Parker, or, we're all off on the outskirts,
Right.
kind of on our own.
Yeah, Betterman said that he's in the process of getting like 36 acres or something and building another school. So
yeah.
Good for him. That'll help. First of all, so you had Sons of Thunder Wrestling Academy. You were part of that for years with your partner. Great concept there, where you were kind of like the way Colorado works with the ski schools and the snowboarding schools. You just kind of had a wrestling school, and you got to do your virtual training, and you also got to do your wrestling, and you produced, man, almost 40 tournaments per year for those kids. You produced a lot of national champs, and then and now you've kind of transitioned into Estrada trained, your own type of personal business where you're traveling around doing different camps and things. First of all, you have daughters who are wrestling right now. What's it mean now to be kind of dad watching that and not coach?
I still coach them.
Yeah.
Everywhere my kids wrestled, I ended up building a relationship. We were in Selma for almost 3 years and in LA with Jimmy Medeiros. And so those guys, I love those guys, man. So I got to coach right alongside of them. I coached Jersey. She won 3 high school state titles, 2 in California, 1 in Colorado. So I got to coach. I've been lucky, with doing it as a job and it being a, kind of specialty. Wherever we go, we kind of just fit in well. And I adapt well. I can figure it out. So it's been nice, to find other people that are that's the thing about me. I'm kind of the gypsy of wrestling. I just go wherever good wrestling is. I find these pockets, these small holes. Selma was one of my favorite, but it's we're just find people that are like mine. I trusted those guys to coach my kid. It was easy to sit back and watch because we were all running the same technique. We're all building into hand fighting. You got Richard and his sister, and they're banging over here, and you got my daughter's over here, and we all had the same mindset. So it's easy to let guys that you see put the effort in that you put in to kids. It's easy to let them coach your kid, and that's kind of where I go. I kind of drift wherever I find someone who is equally as passionate as me, and they wanted to do the same building as I do.
That's all. And so being a father of daughters, what's it mean to you to see the growth of women's wrestling, especially at Colorado? I think you're sanctioned now, right? And,
yeah, and you
the
know what?
Country.
It's tough, man. I started with Jersey. She's almost 20 now. She started when she was 4.5. I had never seen a girl wrestle except Ali Reagan. So Ali Reagan was from 2.5 hours from us. So I had a young guy that I coached named Jake Gregerson, and he would wrestle Ali. Ali's the only girl I'd ever saw. So my daughter said she wanted to wrestle. I said, there's no way. There's only one girl I ever seen tough enough to wrestle boys, and you don't seem that tough, So, but she did. She wanted to do it. We started getting tough, building. I started seeing other girls. The biggest issue that I struggle with, and this is probably where people will struggle with my opinion, and I feel like I have a good voice because I have 4 daughters. I don't have a son. I have to learn wrestling in a different avenue than a father and son relationship because it's different with your daughters. And so my struggle always is that when they want to sanction it, they automatically take it away from the girls wrestling the boys. And there's still some girls that can wrestle boys at those lighter weights and can do well. There's something at the bigger weights can just hold their own. And sometimes you just need to be able to hold your own to know where you're at to get better. Right? Did that make sense? And so with the girls wrestling, every time they sanction it, they stop you from wrestling boys. And it shouldn't stop you. You should just be able to go along until there's enough girls that they're so tough that you are getting good quality matches. That's why I took Jersey to California. We were getting 60, 34, 32, 64 girl brackets there. At that point, we don't need to wrestle no boys. We have plenty. But here, in Colorado, it's a little bit of a struggle. My daughter has, there's another girl maybe that's pretty tough in the States that's going to push us and to find the competition. I got to go drive to California. I got to go to down to Texas, or I got to go up to. So at that point, I might as well pick one of those states and live in them, right?
Right.
So I would love to just see. I'm an advocate for women's wrestling. We should build it. We should pressure coaches to say, hey, look, man, I'm not telling you to be the women's coach, but you need to find someone, build a program, offer it to your school, have assemblies. I'm all for that once it's built up. But the girls that are strong enough and tough enough to wrestle boys, they should be allowed to till there's enough for them. I understand choosing at state. Yeah, you want to go to girls' state or boys' state, make a choice. But girls, it's such a hard thing because they just want it to be. I want 1 million girls wrestling, but the truth is we're not there yet, right?
Right.
And so we have to flock. And so I'm at the place where it's like, okay, I just want to find somewhere where we can do both. And and as we build these girls and build the girls and build the girls and build the girls to where there won't be a need anymore. I understand it. I understand that it doesn't need to be a need. It's just hard. I see these tough girls, man, they all have to travel around just to find each other in good camps, to train with each other.
And I think at the club level, you're still seeing the intramural, right?
Yeah. And that's the hard thing is that these girls go from, that's the exact opposite struggle now. Now you have girls that have wrestled boys their whole life, and now they're not used to wrestling girls, right? So then when they go to wrestle girls, it's all different positioning. It's more power with their hips. And now they're struggling, So we're really, the problem isn't high school when we're trying to change that. The problem needs to be changed at the youth level. We need to be encouraging every time. This is how Sons of Thunder worked and why we were successful with girls. Every time a family walked in my doors, there was always, in Colorado are big families, 3 to 5 kids, okay? Everybody has them. It's still the Wild West here, I tell everybody. They come in the door, and they bring their son in or the 2 sons and they say, hi, we're here to join wrestling. And I say, go on and there's the room. Get in there and start getting to work. What about her? She's the one I want to talk to because she doesn't wrestle. right? That's my job. I'm an ambassador of the sport. If I'm for women's wrestling, then every time a family walks in my door, I need to say, where's your daughter? Well, she does gymnastics. Perfect. It fits perfectly with wrestling. Or she does this. She does lacrosse. Good. She's going to be nice and strong. Let's get her in here wrestling in the off season. You know, why are we not doing freestyle for women's wrestling in high school? Why, you know, and all we want to do is it's like social media, almost the way it is today. All we want to do is attack the one thing. Don't wrestle boys. We want our own, right? And so let's tackle the real big problems. Why is there no 6-year-old little girls wrestling, 7-year-old, 8-year-olds, 9-year-olds? Well, because the club guys getting them in, he accepts the fact that the daughter plays another sport, but I accept the fact that a boy does too, right? If a kid comes in and says, I play football, I go, cool, let's get some wrestling in between. You know, why not go? And that's what we need more. If you want to see women's wrestling grow, it's almost door-to-door salesman time, you know, knocking on the doors. Does your daughter play any kind of sports? No? Let's join one. Does? Let's complement it, right? Wrestling, we know wrestling complements all other sports, right? That's one of our pride sayings. Wrestling complements all, you know.
Yeah, and that's something when I was, Coach DeArmas was texting me, hey, you're live with Estrada, right? I'm like, yeah, at 4. So he's waiting to hear from you. So yeah, I talked to some ladies over in Iowa. So they're not, I think they're working now on getting it sanctioned. But you talk to some of these hammers, and they said, you know, I'm happy that I had the opportunity to wrestle boys, and I think that girls need some of that, but they're hoping that these young girls get to have girls wrestling, but like you said, they said, look, the transition going from only wrestling boys to only wrestling girls was an adjustment because they were focused on legs because of boys' upper body strength. And then when you go to the girls' legs and hips are strong. So now you've got to transition to a different mindset, different structure. So yeah. In every way, it'll help, and it's good to see. You know, I think 27 states now have sanctioned it. So
yeah, and I'll tell you what, I love California was the tops, man, for girls wrestling. Of anywhere I've been, their production, they put them side by side with the boys. It was the coolest thing. I would never have traded my daughter wrestling boys in Colorado and not placing than winning a girls state title in California. That was the epitome. But now where I'm at, they sanction it here in Colorado. Now my daughter, who's going to be a freshman, she's going to be 106 pounds. She can hang in 3A, 4A, 5A. She can. Could she place? I don't know. But those are where competition to competition, that's the best for her. And now we can't wrestle because it's sanctioned here, right? And so that's the struggle. Do I move to California? Do I go here with her? Do I just concentrate on freestyle because we don't do folk style anyhow when we get older, right? All those questions that hundreds of dads and moms are struggling with and coaches across America, and they don't know who to ask. You know, do I keep, you know, because everybody's got an opinion on it. Right. Some say, no, don't do folk style at all. Some say folk style still helps you on your takedowns. You know, it's stressful having 4 daughters. I always tell people, I don't know if my 4th daughter is going to wrestle. We're slowly building.
Slowly, but that's good. So what's next for Estrada Wrestling?
So right now, like you said before, I ran Sons of Thunder, had some awesome times. And I'm ready to move on and start working on what I love to do. And what I feel I do best is take small groups and individual people, and I work on them for a period of time. A great example was, and I come back to Selma because I practically lived there, but Jace Luchow. You know, a lot of people know he climbed the ladder fast. He had never even qualified for California State, and then he's placing at Fargo, winning Fargo. And the kid was ready to, and I saw him in a group of kids, and I said, this is the kid I want to work with. I'm an underdog guy. I see a kid who may be struggling, who may be not getting attention, and it has nothing to do with anything more than he's just like I am. I'm 100 miles an hour. I'm real hyper. I can get into a wrestling practice and 5 hours can go by and I don't know what's going on. I'm just still coaching, teaching. Kids are dying. Parents are all waiting to go home. I'm like, oh, sorry, I didn't realize I went way over. And I think I do that best. So right now I'm focusing on small groups. Colorado, I have the Chatfield group. I have some tough kids that I'm working with right now. A kid named Jack Forbes. He's from Columbine High School, but he works out with Chatfield Club. He's going to be going to Reno. I think he's going to show some people some big stuff. He's going to place high. And so I like to find individual kids within small groups or small groups that are in the middle of nowhere that they don't feel like they got good coaching. They just want more. That's me. Call me up. I'll take a Greyhound bus if I have to. We'll figure it out. I'll stay in your backyard for 2 weeks and we'll go morning and night in between school, whatever you need. Like, I love that. I love the thrill of that. So that's kind of where I'm at now. And I'm finding those people. I'm moving to Hilton Head Island, South Carolina. Some people don't even know that. So they're hearing that right now for the first time.
There you go.
Yeah. So I'm moving to Hilton Head and I'm opening up ET to where it's going to be more of, it's Estrada trained, but I joke because I used to always hate when people name their club after themselves. So I always tell people when they go, don't you hate that? I say, well, it actually means extra training. And that's kind of what my new thought is, stepping into the realm of the Pearlers, Mile High, where I am someone you bring in to tighten up your kids, to build relationships, to talk to them outside of wrestling. So I'm going to Hilton Head. I'm excited about that. I'll be coming back to Colorado once a month for 7 to 10 days, working with the group that I have here. Because I have a really strong group here. I have a young man named William Jakeway. We call him William Wallace for Braveheart. He's someone you're to watch out for. I mean, you guys are going to see this guy win an NCAA title. And it has an amazing story. You want to ever interview just a young youth wrestler? He's 15 years old, man, and he's amazing. His story, he used to be 130 pounds.
I'm in. I want to wrestle. Yeah. I want to interview anyone. I like it.
Yep. So, Estrada trained. I'm just, I've been playing Bruce Springsteen a lot lately. This Guns for Hire,
I like it.
I'm doing a camp in Florida. So I've been in Colorado for 12 years. I was in Illinois. I was in California for almost 3. And I've just, everybody here has been amazing. But like I said, I'm kind of that gypsy. It's time to pack up. I haven't been on that side of the country. I didn't even, I'm finding all these. Hilton Head Island is going to be the next place that what you're going to find there. What I want to build there is like a J-Rob style, 30 days on the beach, staying in bunk. It's, banging 3 times a day, going at it, then going to the beach and windsurfing and having a good time and stuff like that. So that's kind of my new ventures, camp style.
Love it.
I don't know if Estrada Train will just be a nomad club for wanderers, but
Have you thought about getting a tattoo?
Of what?
Where's a tattoo? Have you
got a
tattoo on you? I have a couple, but nothing like you. I had a few, but
yeah, I thought about getting a tattoo.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's how it goes. It goes God, and then wrestling and tattoos are like right there. Yeah.
I was like, I wonder if this guy got a tattoo lately. You got your own guy.
I have an entire leg of wrestling. This is my wrestling leg. I got the Funky Flicker Boys. I owned that for 10 years.
Nice.
Selma, Ponderosa, Colorado. I got some even Bulls, the Bulls Wrestling Club in Illinois. Shout out to Jeremy Christensen and David Pierce, who just took over that program. Another good bunch of guys to talk to. Yeah, it's my wrestling leg.
Your leg looks like my board behind me.
That's right. It looks just like that. That was my whole thought.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
You know what, Coach? Look at this. I tattooed my wrestlers who won state's name on me. That's their names.
Oh, how awesome.
If you were a kid in Illinois, if you won state or placed, I tattooed your name on my leg. That's how much I love those kids.
That's
Michael
badass.
Phipps. Yeah, man. Jake Gregerson, Bo Schlosser, Keith Serber, all of those guys, man. I love those guys to this day. They were a monument part of my growth as a coach. That's what I probably the best thing that I've learned is that my monument growth came from the youth wrestlers that I coached. Moshe Schwartz, Darius Robeson. Those guys taught me how to be a good coach. They expected as much of me as I expected of them. And it's been amazing here in Colorado.
Do you know Donnie? Do you know Donnie Simpson? Do you know Donnie Simpson?
Donnie Stevenson?
Donnie Simpson.
Simpson. Sounds familiar, but I don't know where's he from?
He's from Illinois, and he was coaching up there a little bit in Montini and some clubs, and then.
Oh yeah, so I know Nathan and Izzy and those guys, but I'm from Southern Illinois, so
he's down here now coaching at.
Those guys are way 5 hours from us. I'm from the dirty South. I can see the arch from my backyard.
Yeah, he's down here. He's down here coaching at CFWA in Lake Highland Prep now. So
yeah,
he's a good dude. He does some privates with my kid, but I know he always talks real highly about all those guys up there, Izzy and the BB
Oh,
family. And
Illinois is amazing. I mean, any state should look at the way they do their wrestling and really think about how they build it. And I'm not talking politically. I'm talking like from the bottom ground. They have one kids club that governs the whole state. It builds. They're about building numbers, man. And that's what wrestling needs. We've too long. We've been just like only the strong survive. I have a good saying. I think everybody should wrestle, but I don't know if they'll wrestle forever, and everybody should try it. It needs more of the American martial art is wrestling, right? That Gary Abbas, my favorite. I follow a real good friend of mine from California. He said that one time. He put it on. It should be a poster. He had it on his wall one time. Wrestling is the American martial arts, and it is. So we need to start kind of treating it that way and respecting it a little bit more, and trying to help kids stay that aren't meant to stay, maybe, or maybe, and then be okay with them after they're done in high school, not going to college and wrestling, right? But that they had a good career.
Yeah, man. So so talk about different camps, different locations you're going to be at here in the next couple of months. So people, and then talk about how can people hire Estrada train? How can they get a hold of Coach Estrada? How can they say, hey, Coach, we want to hire you to be down here in wherever? How can they get a hold of you?
Yeah, first thing, just add me on Facebook. Follow me. I just put out 4 or 5. So I did a camp last weekend, and I put out 4 or 5 videos. My buddy Mike Moore. I don't know if you know Mike. Mike. I call him Mindset Mike.
I heard of him. I haven't had him on yet, but
hey, he's the next one. I'll tell you what. There's some people in this world. I do this for a living. I coach, so I tell people all the time. I got friends that work on my cars, and then there's my mechanic, right? I do this as a job. It's every day. I woke up today and all I did was wrestling. I did a little bit. Well, actually, I hung the 5 letters on my house, and then I did some wrestling. Right? So, but it's my job. And so there's very rarely people do I meet, except my college level coaches and stuff, that I'm like, yeah, this guy's passionate. This guy knows what he's talking about, and he studies it daily. And Mike is one of those guys. You can have anybody on your show. Mike is one guy that I would get on there because his knowledge of the mindset game and where it takes you. And that's the battle no one talks about, but they're starting to talk about is huge, but adding me on Facebook, you can go check out some videos that I do in camps. I always tell everybody it's more about the relationship. So we can talk prices, whatever later. I'm not worried about that. I'm more worried about a relationship. Let's start a conversation. Let's talk wrestling and see where it goes. And then maybe I end up at your house and we run some camps. Coaches call me. They hit me up all the time. My phone number's all over my Facebook. They can hire me. I'm moving to South Carolina on the 10th and starting with a group down there that is about an hour away in Charleston. And I put the flyer. I mean, that's posted on my wall. I'm doing a camp in Florida down at his image wrestling academy. It's in St. Pete. I'm doing that on the 28th. Then I turn right around and I come back to Colorado. So if you're in Wyoming and you want to get an awesome camp, I do 5-hour camps, 6-hour camps. I'm the kind of guy that if you're going to drive from Wyoming to Colorado, I'll do the 5-hour camp. Then I'll do an hour private with you afterwards if you want. And then that's kind of what my thing is. I do in between camps and I do privates. And then you can catch me on the beach in Hilton Head if you really want to get a workout in. Just come up, get in your stance on the beach, and we can go at it. I still try to keep my shoes wet and competing so that the kids can't ever say I don't know what they're talking about in cutting weight and working. So I still do.
And if you want to fight him, he'll fight you anywhere, anytime.
Yeah. I don't want to get into a fight, but if somebody comes up, honestly, wants to throw some hands a little bit, I'm okay. I'll do a little bit
like
of that.
Oh, we got someone sneaking in the back.
Yeah,
that's the future. That's the future right there.
Yeah, it is. That's my youngest one, Audio. So I have 4 daughters, Jersey, Zayo, Nova, and Audio. And
awesome.
That one hasn't graced the mat, but due to Build-A-Bear, she owes me 5 practice. So
nice.
We'll get that soon.
Yep. Man, God really did you a favor, huh? Surrounded you with women.
He did. He, you know what? Everybody asks all the time, and it's been an amazing blessing because, I really teaching women's wrestling and my daughters and seeing them wrestle through the struggle. My oldest one, she took 4th at kickoffs, Tulsa kickoffs and boys bracket at 100, and I think it was 28 pounds. She battled some of the, we've wrestled Dustin Plott 10 times. You know, she went to VA duels one year and lost one match. She went 9-1 in VA duels. You know, she battled. To watch her battle, and to watch the for 12 years to watch women's wrestling grow to where I saw people that I know hated it learn to respect it. And you know, it just was untouched territory. See guys, dads who were just frustrated, kids at the bracket, you know, and being like, I got to wrestle her, and knowing that, you know, that it grew into a mutual, like, oh yeah, that's just another tough wrestler, has been amazing, you know. And that, I don't know if I would have got that through a son, you know. I'll never know, but I personally love all having 4 girls. I don't ever desire again anymore. I'm really happy with my daughters, and I love them in whatever path they take, whether it be wrestling, horseback riding, whatever they want. We're going to go as hard as we can at it and be the best.
That's awesome, man. And man, good for you. Hey, so I do these 10 questions at the end. I got to put together here.
Let's go.
I just kind of looked at where you live and kind of went that way. So Vale or Breckenridge?
Breckenridge.
All right. Bison or lamb?
Neither. I'm vegan.
Oh, well, I better take out a bunch of these questions.
Next. I have some old memory though. I would go with bison.
All right. So hiking or snowshoeing?
Hiking.
So I guess I was going to say trout or elk sausage, but do you
Trout.
do fish? Trout.
No, I don't. I mean, you know what? If it's right out of the ocean, maybe, but or out of a river, but trout, yeah, trout way before. I like fish over meat, no matter before I ever started this journey.
Nice. So snowboarding or skiing?
Neither.
Neither. IPA or stout?
IPA.
I like IPAs too. So
actually take the IPA and the stout away and bring me back a Colorado whiskey, like on ice. Like if I'm choosing my drinks.
I like it. Hey, there's no rules to this game. You can make up what you want.
All right, that's what I like.
I like the whiskey on ice. I'm watching Peaky Blinders. That dude always orders a whiskey on ice.
Right. Yeah, if I can do it, it can be a Colorado.
I like it. All right, 4-wheeling, snowmobiling.
4-wheeling.
Well, forget the oysters or the rattlesnake because you're out on that.
Oysters. I would do the oyster before the rattlesnake anyhow.
So you prefer the Rockies or the Springs?
The Rockies.
And I'm guessing from talking to you, I know where you'd go, but what do you think is more prestigious these days, the Fargo or the 32?
Fargo. Maybe
I need to think of some other questions for you since I kind of totally fucked these up.
No, that's okay. Fargo's 2 styles. If we want to rate it, Super 32 is 1 style. If they did 2 styles, then I would say it might be comparable, but I doubt it still.
What about Reno or Body Bar?
For girls, it would be Body Bar. Body Bar is the biggest. I mean, that's my main focus. Like, so if somebody actually wanted to say, I want my girls to get real good, I'm going to bring Jeff. I would go to someone's camp for 30 days and train them to get ready for Fargo. I did that with Team Hawaii about 4 years ago, and it was the best experience I ever had. 30 people from Hawaii. Nate Williams brought 30 people from Hawaii. We trained in my gym, rode in my bus up to Fargo, coached them, had national champs, all Americans. It was amazing. It was like, you know, so that's what I'm looking for, the next adventure, you know. And so but I love Colorado so much. Like you said, the weather in the beginning, everything. This will always be home to us. I will always want to be here. I may spend my whole summer here training everybody in Colorado, you know, and then have when it gets cold, be like, everybody, let's go to the beach. Train there.
Yeah.
You know, like we talked about earlier.
Yeah, Coach.
We talked about earlier. My way of school that I had is the new way. People don't understand it. It's going to be online where you can travel. Wrestling for sure is going to understand that because we got to do school on Thursday and Friday at the hotel while we were working out, on the plane, whatever you need. School is everywhere, you know, so we can do it anytime. Sports, we're going to start having sports specialty schools, and we're going to start having academic specialty schools. And that's what you're going to do. My school, we had it for 10 years. PE for kindergartners was wrestling. PE for first graders was wrestling. I didn't care if you didn't wrestle or not. You want a good education and a lot of discipline? Come on to our school. You got to wrestle. Picked up wrestlers just like that. You know, I mean, it's the new way, sports specialty. I mean, if you could just choose, my kid's going to go to baseball school this year. He's going to check it out.
Coach DeArmas says, get down to Miami for some clinics.
Oh, hey, you tell him, 618-781-8713. Shoot me a text. I'll come. You better watch it. Hey, he's going to hear this like in about an hour.
You'll be in Miami. Yeah.
He said to come to Miami. I'm going to stand on this porch with 2 bags.
Hell yeah, he's coming, Coach DeArmas.
Right?
Nathan Williams. That's right, Coach. Let's go. The real Road Warriors.
Yeah. That dude, I mean, when you said earlier 40 tournaments a year, then these people are not understanding. I was leaving Colorado 12, 15, 26 hours. Okay. I was driving from Colorado all the way to Kids Nationals in Atlanta, Georgia, 26 hours, 18 kids. You know, we were back and forth every weekend. Colorado was fun. We would do some locals here and there, but mostly we just and it was easy. We were all together. We had school. You know,
that's awesome, man. Brian Jackson says, "What's up?" Steve Butler posted Brayton Killery. So, man,
Brian Jackson's my old coach. I wrestled at Missouri Baptist, wrestled at Merrimack Junior College for the Americatanis, and I wrestled for Brian Jackson at Missouri Baptist. And great coach, great women's coach. My daughter's kind of up in the air what she wants to do. My oldest one, I would love to get her down there with Coach Jackson, and he's an amazing coach, Brian Jackson. If anybody looking for a good
Stephen Butler says, looking forward to E.T. Charleston.
Yeah, for sure. Butler's another good guy, man. All these guys, I'm excited. Like I said, I'm excited about that side of the country that I haven't explored, I haven't been able to work with, pour in. Then I want to just, melting pot, bring those to Colorado, go to California with Selma when I can, with Rob Sepulveda and, all those guys, Joey Ariano, all those guys from Selma, Coach Sam, the hidden wonder no one knows about. Coach Sam's the best guy ever. Selma's one of the best programs in California, man. So I just want to mix those guys up everywhere we go.
That's awesome.
Forget the Corona, forget school.
I don't even want to. Yeah, I don't even want to get off the phone with you. I'm like,
right?
I gotta go cook dinner. This is awesome.
Hang on, you don't have to. I'm gonna order you dinner right now. We're gonna keep talking, right?
We're gonna keep going.
That's how easy it is.
Man, all the energy. I'm excited. I never wrestled in my life. I'm ready to wrestle right now.
I can't wait to give you a hug, man. When I see you, I'll be like, ah!
Yeah, I can't wait to take it. It's going to be dope.
Yeah, then we'll do a little stance of motion around. That's like my secret handshake. Instead of handshaking, you do stance of motion, like to each other.
I like it. I like it. I love it, man. Hey, I'm just absolutely honored to meet you and get to know you.
For sure.
Have you on, and please feel free to send my link to anybody you want to see on here. And
cool.
When you come down to Florida to St. Pete, hopefully by that time, my wife will let me out of the house. She's the boss. I have to listen because
I understand, man.
And but hopefully by then we can get out of the house and get the kids down there.
I would love for you to come down to the camp, man, and just watch what I do. Like I said, I think I 15 years, almost 20 years I've been doing this. I feel like I got a good niche in hand fighting and setups, and that's what coaches need. Everybody knows a double leg. I'm not going to come to your camp and be like, this is how you do a double leg, right? That's the first thing you ever learned. I'm going to show you this is the 3 or 4 ways you get into a double leg, right? Get this guy out of position, get him moving, right? We can't just no more take those shots straight forward, and so that's kind of my thing.
Yeah, it's awesome, and I'm sure your energy just fires right into these kids when you're in the room. So they just don't stop. The parents have to be on the side like.
Yeah, some of them. It's definitely like I said, you just got to come check it out, man. Come check it out in St. Pete when I do that camp, and come in as my guest, and you can film anything. We can do anything afterwards, and even have some dinner and stuff. And just anybody want to come, St. Pete. It's on my Facebook page. Go check it out. It's St. Pete camp on August. I believe it's the weekend of the 25th. Just go find the flyer on my page, and I'll be posting it on the Florida Wrestling Room too.
Yeah, that's awesome.
We love wrestling live better than anywhere.
I've got Coach Mark Prince coming on at 5:30, and he just opened up a club. I don't know, last month or 2 months ago, and he's starting to do clinics. So we'll have to tell him about.
Is that the guy? I was looking for my phone. Is that the guy that just opened a building too?
Right. There's a guy in Palm Harbor, Coach Avramitis, and Nick. I can't remember his last. Radner. who just opened a building. August 1st is opening day. So
Nice.
that'll be good. I mean, you're down here, run around the state, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. I'm excited to be in Hilton Head. I'm 8 hours from you guys, man. And like I said, I've been traveling 24 hours, 27 hours.
Yeah.
Okay. Coming 7 hours is like a vacation. I'm like, woo, get in the car, put on I got 7-hour playlists, like a million of them. I
Nice.
can do that anytime. I could probably do that twice a week. And in real honesty, I could drive 7 hours through the night, coach a bunch of kids for 6 hours during the day, drive back home. That's the kind of stuff I'm looking for.
Dude, what happens when like you and Kraus are in a room together?
We've only been together once. One time I won, Oklahoma gave me out of state coach of the year at their little Oklahoma. It was at one of the national tournaments, but it was like their thing, and Kraus was there, and we've never been in a room. I don't know if the room would explode or what would happen.
I couldn't imagine. You'd both be like, get back, yeah.
Yeah, I would. So one day I dream about doing a camp with him, and it's like we call it like a marathon camp, where it's like 100 kids, 24 hours, nonstop, me and him drilling till like the last one standing, gets half the entry fees.
Yeah,
whoever
awesome.
the last guy that can do, last guy taking a shot on Kraus, dying. He's 80 right there.
Yeah, I love it, man. I love
Yeah.
it, man. Hey, thanks so much again, man. I'm absolutely honored to have you on, and
For sure.
yeah, and definitely look forward to meeting you, man. Appreciate you, and hopefully I'm making a difference.
Oh man, you're doing awesome stuff, man. I really, you're the first podcast I've ever been asked on. So
Really?
yes, yeah. I'm like I said, I'm kind of just a crazy guy, and people are I think they think the way I coach, because I'm always for my kid. I advocate for my wrestlers, man. We're not friends on the mat, even as coaches. I could have just had breakfast with you, and I'll be like, you stink, and so does your wrestler. We're gonna win, I don't
And then
care.
afterwards, you'll have a beer.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
not a beer.
Like,
A whiskey on ice.
yeah, I think people are just standing. They're a little bit like, this guy's intense, but ask the ones that are close, and the ones who have been close, and the ones who even I'm not close to anymore, but they had that experience or that time with me, whether it been a month. I mean, kids stayed at my house, 30, 40 of them at a time for a month, 2 months, and ask them, they'll tell you it changed their life. The way things I taught them about, entrepreneurship, of having funky flicker boy gear and trading and selling rare shoes. I mean, hundreds of rare shoes that went through my house with kids, and we're trading and selling, and I got to ship, and the things experiences they'll never get anywhere else. And that's what I'm looking for over and over and over till I can't do it anymore.
Good for you, man. And the world needs more of you in it. So thank you.
Well, I appreciate it, man.
And I'm going to get out of here and get ready for my last show of the day, and then off to downstairs with the family.
All right.
All right.
Get that dinner cooked.
Yes, sir. Thank you.